Richard had always loved cars, especially antiques. There was something magical about restoring a piece of history, making it roar back to life. He ran a small auto repair shop in the outskirts of town, filled with vintage cars and the smell of oil and gasoline. One evening, as he was closing up, an old man with a weathered face and a desperate look stumbled into the shop. "Please," the man gasped, "you have to help me. My car. It's the only thing that can save her." Curiosity piqued, Richard followed the man outside to see a 1932 Packard, a true beauty despite its dilapidated state. The man explained that the car belonged to his late wife, Eleanor, and that her spirit was trapped on the other side of the veil. Only by restoring the car could she be freed. Though skeptical, Richard agreed, feeling a strange pull towards the car and the story. Over the next few weeks, Richard worked tirelessly on the Packard, pouring his heart and soul into every detail. As he worked, he began to feel a presence in the shop, a soft, ethereal touch that made the hairs on his neck stand on end. He dismissed it as his imagination, but deep down he knew something otherworldly was at play. One night, as Richard was putting the finishing touches on the car, the temperature in the shop dropped suddenly. He turned to see a beautiful woman standing by the car. She had long, flowing hair and eyes that seemed to pierce through his very soul. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice like a melody. "I am Eleanor." Richard was mesmerized by her beauty and the sadness in her eyes. She explained that she had been trapped in a limbo since her death, unable to move on. The car, a symbol of her love for her husband, was her only tether to the living world. Moved by her story and her ethereal beauty, Richard poured all his love and effort into the final repairs. When he finally finished, Eleanor appeared again, her form more solid, more real. "You've done it," she said, stepping closer to him. "You've freed me." Without thinking, Richard reached out and touched her hand. It was cold, but he didn't pull away. Instead, he felt a rush of emotions: love, sorrow, longing. Eleanor leaned in and kissed him, and for a moment, everything else faded away. But then a sinister smile curled her lips. Her eyes, once filled with sadness, now burned with a malevolent light. "Thank you, Richard," she hissed. "You've done exactly what I needed." Before he could react, a searing pain shot through his chest. He looked down to see her hand plunged into his heart, draining his life force. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. As his vision dimmed, he saw Eleanor's form shift and change. Gone was the beautiful spirit, replaced by a hideous, malevolent entity. "I was never Eleanor," it sneered. "I am a demon, and you've set me free." With his last breath, Richard realized the ultimate price he had paid for his love and compassion. The demon vanished, leaving his lifeless body slumped over the restored Packard, the shop filled with an eerie silence. The next morning, the old man returned to find the shop empty, save for the gleaming Packard and Richard's lifeless body. He wept for the mechanic who had given everything for a love that was never real. And as the sun rose, the veil between worlds remained thin, a reminder of the price paid for meddling with forces beyond human understanding. Word of Richard's tragic end spread quickly through the town, and people whispered about the eerie circumstances. Some claimed they had seen shadows flitting around the shop at night, while others swore they heard whispers of a woman's voice calling out. The Packard sat untouched, a haunting reminder of the mechanic's fate. One evening, Richard's old friend and fellow mechanic Tom decided to visit the shop. Determined to uncover the truth, he cautiously stepped inside, flashlight in hand. The air was thick with an unnatural chill, and the faint scent of Richard's cologne lingered. As he approached the Packard, the car seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and died, In the dim light, Tom saw a shadowy figure emerge from the car. It was the demon, now fully free and more powerful than before. "Richard's sacrifice has given me strength," it hissed, its voice echoing through the shop. "And now, I'll claim this world as my own." Tom backed away in terror, but the demon lunged at him, its eyes glowing with malevolence. With a desperate scream, Tom fled the shop, vowing to never return. The town remained in fear, knowing that the price Richard paid had unleashed a darkness that could never be contained.